Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Decentralized Masters podcast, uh, your go to source for everything in decentralized finance. I'm Tristan, and I'm here with Jon today. We're here to guide you through the ever changing world of DeFi, one strategy at a time. Every week, right here on Decentralized Masters YouTube channel, we're going to go live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time to bring you the latest insights, updates, and tools to help you on your DeFi journey. All right, so let me just start today with kind of see what's happened in the last few days in crypto. I know that there was an interesting thing about stable coins. I'll share my screen here. Stablecoin volumes reached $1 trillion in monthly transactions. So that's people, sending money back and forth, doing everything in DeFi, in crypto, $1 trillion. So that is more money moving back and forth than what like Visa or MasterCard does. So if you wanted to know something like you wanted to see how the crypto ecosystem is evolving, it's now sends more money back and forth than, the two largest credit card providers in the world, which I think is pretty amazing. Did you see anything that was going on recently, Jon?
XRP, man. XRP. Mila says, hi, Jon and Tristan. Hello, Mila. Hope you're doing well today. And welcome, everyone. Make sure to leave your comments down below. And as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And this is your first time joining us here today. Make sure to go ahead and check out our free community, Become Your Own Bank. So definitely recommend all of you to go ahead and check it out. Link down below in the description. You can go ahead and get access to a free masterclass down below. But yeah, with that being said, what really came out was XRP, man. XRP has finally broken above that $3 level. So really exciting to see what's going on across the market. Definitely do want to go ahead and get into some charts, but I kind of want to go ahead and leave that towards the mid before we start getting a little bit more into it. Is there anything else you want to go ahead and cover?
No, I guess that the XRP was big news, going above $3. Congrats to all the XRP maxis out there. I was not one of them. And that amazing thing about stable coins is just it gives you confidence. It's you're like, yeah, I'm in the right space. I'm working, building, investing my time and money in crypto, and it looks like crypto will be the future.
I definitely agree with you. Mila says, I'm well. Thank you. Thank you, Mila. She's always showing love to us. Really appreciate you. And for all those watching, feel free to go ahead and comment down below. Just stop by and say hi. Let's go ahead and go into some quick little market updates, and then we're going to go ahead and pivot and see if Tristan can find anything in the meantime as I'm going through some of the charts. But we're going to go ahead and start off as usual with crypto bubbles. As you see right now across the market, a little bit no more neutral. We do see a few tokens that are performing really well, as you see XRP being one of them. And we also see Litecoin. Surprisingly, I've been seeing Litecoin just start to pop off. I have no reason, no idea why. Do you happen to know, Tristan, for any reason why Litecoin is getting some traction right here?
That dinosaur is still alive.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Give me a second here. I'll see if I can find something.
And on the hourly, as we see it on the hourly right now, everything's slightly coming down. I don't know what news might have just popped out right now before we got started that the market's having a little bit more, probably a little bit profit taking going on. But let's go ahead and pivot into the fear and greed. And in the meantime, as Tristan could find something with what's going on with Litecoin, very
ETF.
interested in what's going on there. What's going on there?
ETF filing. They filed
ETF filing, really?
Yeah, so they filed to do an ETF for Litecoin.
No way, that's crazy.
That's pretty impressive.
A Litecoin ETF filing before Solana?
No, it didn't go live. It's
okay.
No, it didn't go live. It's just it's been proposed.
Oh yeah, filing. Okay, I see it. That's why.
That's
some pretty big news.
Yeah.
The thing that I found really interesting here, I'm not sure if you've noticed, with GB, what is it? Not GBBTC. It's Grayscale's I think it is GB something. Grayscale also has Litecoin on there on their platform. For all those that are not aware what Grayscale is basically kind of like a, what would I call it? This was before they had ETFs. So it was basically almost like an iShare Capital or iTrust Capital, right? It was if you guys are familiar with iTrust Capital, is a platform where you could go ahead and add money and use crypto as a 401k and things like that. Do Roth IRAs too, which is pretty neat. So Grayscale had Litecoin on there with Solana and Bitcoin. Literally completely blanked out of what I was going to say, but let me go ahead and pivot into what I was going to do with the fear and greed chart, and then we're going to go ahead and make that pivot. So fear and greed chart right now, currently at 51 of greed. Yesterday, we were falling between that 46 of fear, and last week at 49. We do see an increase on the 24-hour volume at 17.8%, market cap 1.18%, and the dominance of Bitcoin slightly about the same that we were yesterday. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on with any liquidation maps. So right here, we do see a little bit of liquidity at around the $100,000 range. I'm wondering if that's longs or shorts. That's probably shorts right there. They're going to get liquidated. Yeah, it takes us to OKX, but we do see a lot of activity at around the $100,000 range, which is about 49.67 million. The way I like to look at liquidation maps, heat maps, is usually these are the areas where a lot of people are more than likely going to get stopped out or are more than likely going to get liquidated out of their position. So as you see right here on the yellow line, that's usually signaling where there's most of the activity going on, where most of the liquidations usually would happen. So basically, in the most simplest form, basically the way we could use this to our advantage is when we could go ahead and see an asset class, specifically Bitcoin in this case, where it's getting closer. Like, let's say, for example, if Bitcoin gets near this 100,000 range again, there's a high probability we could be causing a short squeeze. A short squeeze just means that it's going to automatically start pushing the price action of that asset even higher. In this case, as I mentioned, Bitcoin, in order for short sellers to go ahead and close out their position. So what going short is like you're basically betting against the asset to go down. So in order for you to close your position, unlike like when you buy and you sell, they have to go ahead and buy. So when they're shorting, they're selling the asset, and then they would have to go ahead and buy in at a higher price in order for them to close their position, creating the price action of that asset to go up higher. I could give you a few examples of what that usually looks like. Short squeezes, I could almost assure you there is one around this range right here with Bitcoin, where as you start to see these just massive volatility start to pick up out of nowhere. Like, for example, I do remember, if I could recall, there was a lot of liquidity, like liquidations around these zones right here around the 79, if I'm not mistaken. But usually what triggers this, as I mentioned, is when shorts have to go ahead and close out their positions. And then there also is people thinking that the market is just going, there's a lot of buying pressure, but they're confusing it because of shorts closing out their position, which pushes the price action of the asset even higher. And this is also another similar area where we saw this happen with Bitcoin back right here in February 2024. I believe there's a lot of liquidations here as well too at around that range. And as you see, usually when we have these short squeezes, it usually pushes Bitcoin to new all-time highs. So I definitely want to go ahead and see how Bitcoin holds, but let's go ahead and do some quick little TA on Bitcoin. So we do see that Bitcoin is getting rejected at around that $100,000 range. It looks like we could still have potential to go ahead and pick it up. Tomorrow is going to be Friday, so I'm really interested to see how things are going to close. But it also does look like a possible double bottom pattern happening. Now, keep in mind, we do definitely need to go ahead and break above that $101,000 range for Bitcoin in order for us to have that continuation to the upside and then enter what is now called new price discovery once we break above $108,000 in Bitcoin. This is the bullish case scenario. This means this would be the best thing for the market to happen and for the market to go through. Now, the worst case scenario for Bitcoin is that we do see right now, which is not too good, to be honest. We are seeing a little bit of rejection, and it's not at that $102,000 range. It's actually a lot lower. So we do see that there is a lot of resistance at around that $100,000 range. So we need a lot of momentum in order for us to continue to break through and push through. But it looks like we are experiencing that rejection right here, which I'm not too surprised of. So we still have one other attempt for Bitcoin to slightly come back down and then try to reattempt that breakout. If it doesn't, more than likely we will be heading down even lower. So be on the lookout for that. I did mention that on our private community several times. Also, the XRP breakout, we were talking about it a few weeks ago. But I'll go a little bit more into the XRP. But for Bitcoin right now, if we do continue to get rejected, it's not going to be looking too good. We could be coming back down to 95, retest the $99,000 range, and then come back down to what I was mentioning these last couple days, to around that $87,000 range for Bitcoin, which is very, very doable. I mentioned that. I said, there's a lot of big events coming up. We have the FOMC meeting coming up in the next coming weeks. We also have Trump finally being in office. So I expect a lot of volatility right across the board. But even with that being said, if we do come across Bitcoin coming down below, slightly losing that support at around that, I would say we have strong support at around $90,000. We could slightly, I wouldn't be surprised if we come down below that support towards that $87,000 range and then do some sort of move like this where we will be creating what is called a inverse head and shoulders pattern. One thing I do want to mention, we first need to go ahead and get confirmation before we start calling any possible patterns that could be forming. But I want to go ahead and show you what usually happens and the reason why I always thought $87,000 is possible. Now, fingers crossed it doesn't happen, because if $87,000 does happen, that would mean that it would take us a little bit longer for this market to continue to go up. So what we just saw right now in the market was just a little sneak peek, a little tease to see what is waiting for us in the end of the corner. But for right now, that would mean that if we do start to experience this rejection right here for Bitcoin, there could be two things. Either Bitcoin's temporary top was $108,000, and we are now officially shifting from Bitcoin dominance to altcoins, which is a good thing for all the you altcoin holders. And then the second thing would be that we would probably not be experiencing the party that we've been expecting, like we all have these last couple weeks. I'm expecting the market to really start moving in a little bit more towards February, more specifically towards the beginning of February, because of the big, massive news that we do have for the market. Now, I do want to go ahead and give you an example of what we've seen prior to massive breakouts and new price discovery levels with Bitcoin. I could go ahead and show you all the way as back from January 2024, where early into 2023 or late 2023 of December, we talked a little bit about this last week. We had the talks about the ETFs here. Bitcoin went ahead and went to $48,000, went down to $38,000, broke below support, and then ended up pretty much sweeping liquidity, went ahead and reversed, broke out, and then made new all-time highs. And then we had the same thing happen right here too recently. If you guys remember, around July, I believe this is around the time that Trump was talking in the Tennessee event. A lot of excitement leading into the event. Bitcoin topped. Then we had one of the biggest, I think this was probably one of the biggest liquidation grabs we had, where Bitcoin went from $69,000, $70,000 all the way to as low as $48,000. And then a few weeks later, the market recovers from September, moving forward into November. We then see Bitcoin enter new price discovery. So this could be a possibility that we might be experiencing something very, very similar. I wouldn't be surprised. As you notice, we usually are in these channels where we're just consolidating within the range for a while before we have that massive breakout or breakdown. Breakdown would be, Bitcoin going down, which is not what we want to see. We want to see a breakout to the upside. So don't be surprised if we do see a little bit more shakiness into the market. Specifically, let's go ahead and keep our eyes on how Friday ends tomorrow. Usually on Fridays, if depending on how the U.S. stock market ends, that's going to give us a little bit more information and data on what we could be expecting in the next week ahead of us. And as well, I do want to mention, don't be surprised if we do see $87,000 Bitcoin, 88. I don't think it would go. I think the lowest would be 87. Realistically, I don't think it would go any lower than that. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get one other liquidation grab before we do have this breakout to the upside. So just a heads up, just a reminder, keep this in the back of your head. So if you do see this kind of price action, you either stay out of the market for now. I would personally recommend just sitting back right now, analyzing where the market's heading, waiting, dollar cost averaging. You prefer what I'm doing. I'm just sitting back on the sidelines right now and waiting until these next coming weeks come because of the FOMC meeting and Trump. I really want to see how the market reacts. So I'm not getting too aggressive right now with the market. I do have one trade on XRP. And that's about it. I'll probably be closing it very, very soon, depending on what the charts are telling me. But right now, I'm not being too aggressive when it comes to dollar cost averaging. So if you are considering dollar cost averaging, I would wait a few more days, see how things are going. If you're already heavily deployed into the market, like you got into a lot of the altcoins back in November, dollar cost averaging right now in some asset pairs that you might be down 30%, maybe 20%, in my opinion, doesn't hurt to go ahead and add to that bag. But if there's some tokens that you're already at either slightly below break even or slightly above profits, I would just wait for these next coming days to see where the market reacts, to see if you could possibly get a lower dip and then load up a little bit more on to the downside. But do you have any thoughts about this, Tristan, on Bitcoin?
Yeah, I'm very aligned with you here, John. You could say on a fundamental scale, yes, we have this Trump inauguration, and I think Mila just asked a question regarding that. Do you expect Bitcoin to drop? I expect Bitcoin to at least kind of remain stable to up in the next few days, up until the inauguration. But I think we might be seeing a sell the news kind of scenario here. Buy the rumor, sell the news. I think after Trump is inaugurated, we could possibly see a larger drop in Bitcoin of people, buying the hype of Trump being inaugurated, and then selling it as soon as he is inaugurated. So that could possibly happen. Obviously, not financial advice. I don't have a crystal ball. It's just a common thing that often happens when it comes to investing. Yeah, I'm quite shaky on the market. The 10-year Treasury bond is still around 4.48, 4.9. And that's sucking a lot of liquidity out of risk assets, and Bitcoin and crypto are risk assets. So a lot of people are going to this safe haven bond, which will yield close to 5%. And of course, there's nothing safer as an investment than a U.S. government bond. So I'm a little bit shaky right now, and you will see later in my picks, crypto picks, that they do reflect that kind of narrative.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's just Mila says right here, I think LTC may do well in the future. Yeah, Litecoin has been around for years. It was like really one of those like top coins in the beginning, especially in 2017. And it seems like Litecoin kind of has been forgotten, but it's pretty interesting to see how Litecoin has been the pick. I've been a little bit
Mhm.
positive about Litecoin about a year ago. I don't know what kind of gravitated my interest, but I kind of started noticing that a lot of institutional buyers had interest in Litecoin for whatever reason. And I think one of the best ways to always kind of go about when it comes to this market is always follow the money. Like kind of like what Tristan mentioned earlier. Usually when we come to big events like this, is always buy the rumor, sell the news. Like if you haven't noticed with what I just showed you guys right now, these major times for Bitcoin when it came down to breaking down and losing support were major events. Like this was the Bitcoin ETF talk, and then false news alert, and then market dumped. This was during when Trump was talking at the conference in Tennessee. Everybody was excited about $100,000 Bitcoin. Bitcoin topped and then dumped a few days later. And then right here, there's a lot of excitement for two things too. We'll see how the FOMC meeting goes. I'm expecting them to be a little bit more neutral. They're probably going to be a little bit more neutral with everything going on. Apparently, you do not want to be too aggressive in cutting rates right now, but as well, they do want to come down. So we'll see where things are going. But as Tristan mentioned, right now there isn't as much favor for risk on assets at the moment. So I think everybody's really waiting to see how the FOMC meeting is going to go there. And I see Jugas actually went ahead and joined us. Good morning, Jugas. XRP Maxi right here. Out of boundaries. Welcome. Like the profile picture. Let's see what Mila's telling us right here. We are 4 days from the presidential graduation. Do you expect for Bitcoin to drop? We already answered that. Solomon, how's it going, man? Amazing stuff. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Maybe one of these days you can have we could go ahead and have you join us.
Silverman
Will,
guest appearance.
yeah. Jugas says, will XRP flip ETH this cycle? I think
Oh,
that's a great question. I think XRP has already been flipping ETH this cycle. I mean, if we look at XRP compared to ETH, which I wouldn't compare both of those assets, I feel like they're both totally different asset classes. But look at this nice little breakout with XRP that we've been talking about XRP for a while. This bull flag pattern was like the best trade setup ever. It was almost like way too perfect. Usually trades don't ever go this perfect. Usually they'll always present you like the best pattern, and then it does the complete opposite, right? But surprisingly, XRP had a really nice little breakout right here. Right now, we do see that we are, and we actually have broken past that resistance at around the 2.9 range. So we're looking to go ahead and see if XRP could go ahead and hold around 2.50 to around this high $3 area would be really, really nice. But I know you're going to be a little bit shocked by this, Jugas, but I believe XRP could definitely go to $6 to $12 this cycle. A little crazy, right? But XRP is looking pretty good. And also XLM. Now, I do want to mention to all of you that are joining us right now, we have been talking about XRP with our private community. I've been talking about this setup breaking out these last couple days. So a few of our members in a private community did went ahead and got into this trade. We do not do call outs on trades, but there is times when opportunities are presented like this where I like to go ahead and share things with the community. And our private community actually got all that information way ahead of time. So I definitely recommend you guys to check out our free community and then give us a try. But with that being said, you may be wondering, is this the time to enter XRP? Now, in my opinion, I would say no. I'm in a trade
same.
still, but I think it's already pumped quite a bit. There's too much excitement right now. I would wait for it to retrace a little bit, and it will. It will retrace. I don't know when it will retrace. It might retrace at $4. Maybe it doesn't retrace till 6. I'm sure it will retrace soon. But I think on the next retracement, if you do want to get into XRP for a short-term trade, it might be worth it, in my opinion, not financial advice. But so far, I do believe that XRP is going to be having a lot of attention this bull cycle. And another token that I would recommend checking out is also XLM within the kind of same narrative. They are both doing, cross-border payment solutions. If we go ahead and take a look at XLM right here, let me go ahead and pull out that chart. Let me see, maybe Binance chart. Also very similar breakout structure too. It's lagging a little bit behind, but as you see, I also drew out this breakout before it happened a few days ago, and so far it's following it. Now we are seeing a little bit of a more of a lagging indicator with XLM. We could be experiencing some resistance at around this 51 cent area to about 56. So just be on the lookout for that. But if you are looking for another token that's going to be mimicking XRP's price movement, XLM is around the corner, and I think XLM is going to go above $1, in my opinion. It could be wrong, not financial advice, but I do think $1 is really, really realistic. This would be like what, a 50% increase from here? Is that 50 cents already? So $1 is not unrealistic whatsoever. Let me go over ETH a little bit, and then I want to go ahead and make the pivot into Tristan's opinion into what he thinks with what we're seeing in the market. Now, take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum has been really underperforming. I still believe in Ethereum. I don't think Ethereum's going to get replaced anytime soon. I could be wrong, but I think Ethereum, in my opinion, is still a pretty good buy. Yeah, we do have other assets that are layer ones or a little bit better than Ethereum when it comes to fees and DeFi, like Solana. We have Sui right now. We have Say that's up and coming. We have a few layer twos like Base, but Ethereum, I don't think Ethereum is going to go like to zero. I know there's a lot of talks about Ethereum being replaced, Solana being the ETH killer. I think for a lot of these tokens to go ahead and do that for Ethereum, they first need to go ahead and show they can handle the volume that Ethereum is bringing, because Ethereum is bringing in a lot of volume. They're doing a lot of transactions, but Solana has actually caught up, I believe. I think they caught up officially last week, right, Tristan? Like Solana's transactions.
Yeah, the transaction volume of Solana did eclipse ETH just for a minute there.
That's crazy. Who would have ever thought that last cycle? But looking at Ethereum right here, you do see that Ethereum has continued to get rejected, and this is a little bit alarming. I wouldn't say it's too concerning, but we are definitely seeing higher lows being printed ever since back over here around December. Ethereum topping at around $4,100, $3,700, and right now it looks like we're topping at around the $3,400 range. So we'll go ahead and see where Ethereum settles down. I hope this is the near bottom for Ethereum. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of altcoins are running on the Ethereum blockchain. There is a lot of the tokens that are running on ERC20, so they are dependent on Ethereum, and some of these meme tokens too as well. Like for example, we have Pepe that is running on ERC20. We have Shiba that is running on ERC20. So there is quite a few tokens that are dependent on some of the layer one blockchains when it comes to the movement. And Ethereum is definitely a big lagger this cycle so far, but it could be taking us all by surprise. But as positive as I want to be for Ethereum, I do believe on the chain, but we definitely do need to pick it up because it's not looking too good. It looks like almost everything else is going up. Ethereum is probably going to be that slow mover this cycle where it might surprise us towards the end. But I think, in my opinion, XRP already flipped Ethereum at this point. That is so funny. Let's read some comments. Let's go ahead and see what we have going on here. Out of the boundaries. Also, I think it will be by the rumors, sell the news with Trump. I definitely do agree that as well.
Yeah, out of boundaries is Filippo.
Oh, Filippo.
Yeah.
Filippo, welcome in, man. Sullivan, let's see. Johnson's, you are the meme coin king. Any Sui memes you're eyeing? I haven't eyed any Sui memes. Actually, yes, I take that back. I got it confused with Say. One of the Sui memes I am eyeing out right now at the moment, non-financial advice, would be Blub. I think this one has a lot of potential. This is one of the first meme coins on the Sui blockchain. I do believe that Sui is going to continue to grow, and you could be expecting a little bit more volatility coming into that and more DeFi opportunities. So what I would highly, highly recommend all of you is to go ahead and check out Blub, BLUB. It's a little fish. You can go ahead and head over to CoinMarketCap, or you can go ahead and head over to Dex Screener to go ahead and check it out. But yeah, the token's called Blub. It's a fish token. It's been out for already at least 6 months, and this token has already retraced at least over 50%. I'm not sure if this wick is real. I'm not sure if Blub actually hit 164 million. But let's just say Blub hit 100 million. This has already retraced at least over 85%, which in my opinion is usually when you want to start buying meme coins. You never want to buy meme coins when everybody's excited about them, hyped up about them. That means you're late to the party. You usually want to go ahead and scoop them up when they at least retrace anywhere between 60 to 80%. If you could get lucky at a 90% retracement, as crazy as that might sound, I think that's usually where you want to go ahead and start buying these riskier assets when they do go down that low. Because when you're buying in as everybody's talking about them, chances are you're probably more than likely buying the highs. And right now, for something like Blub, there was a lot of excitement back at around September, October. The excitement's kind of dead. I don't really hear much people talking about it, but it does have a solid community. And as I mentioned, this is the first meme coin on the Sui chain that has been the most successful so far. So this is kind of like the mascot, I feel like, for Sui chain. And if you're a believer in Sui, this is one of the best ways to kind of leverage your position. I'm not telling you to put in too much money, but anywhere between like $2,000 for a token this risky could, play out very, very well if it does go in our favor. I think, as crazy as it might sound, I think it's possible for Blub to reach 1 billion market cap. I think it's very, very doable if we start getting this excitement back in the market and more members start joining the community. But yeah, Blub right here at a 16 million market cap is a really good buying entry. Also talked about this with a lot of our private communities. I was calling it at around this 20 million. And I mentioned if you were to get anything below 20 million, specifically 18 million market cap and below, that was a good buying opportunity. And that's what we're currently seeing now. I do want to mention there could be also a possibility we might go even further down, another 50% retracement. So just be on the lookout. I don't think that might happen. I think support is now being held right here, and we should be seeing some sort of consolidation here for a few months, maybe a few days, few weeks before we start picking up on steam right now. So meme coins right now are heavily discounted if that is what you're looking for. And altcoins right now are either stagnant right now, break even for most of you, or are barely forming out some buying opportunities. So Blub would be one of the meme tokens on the Sui chain, on my opinion. Let's see what Mila says. Wait for retracement. I agree. XRP could retrace at 2017 all-time high. What is XRP's all-time high? I thought I already did. Do you happen to know, Tristan? XRP's all-time high. I thought XRP's all-time high was $3.
Maybe it hit a different high back in the last cycle.
2017. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see what 2017's XRP was. Well, this doesn't give me that much data. This is Binance too. I thought XRP's all-time high was $1.50. I thought XRP was a new price discovery this whole entire time. Let me double check. It'll tell us right here in coin market cap. So no. So I wasn't even aware of this. I thought we were already a new price discovery for XRP. So all-time high in 2017 was $3.84. I don't even want to think about that because I remember when I was holding XRP back in 2017 at like 13 cents.
Oh my god.
I didn't even know it went up this high. I'm glad I didn't even know.
Someone's been holding since then.
$3.84. Yeah. I didn't know. I didn't even know XRP went up that high. I ended up getting patient in 2017 with XRP, and I sold. Now looking back at it, I didn't even realize it was at 384. So we're not that far away from breaking above that. Thanks for that, Filippo. Wasn't even aware. Mila, I'm holding XLM. It's doing well. Yeah, XLM has been a really good player if you were a big believer in XRP. Also, XLM, I called that one out in the community since back in July. I was a big believer in XLM based on the XRP narrative. I'm not too crazy on the XRP narrative. I think it's overhyped. But it's always good to go ahead and make these trades. Go ahead and make some short-term trades when it comes to these opportunities. But XLM, if you go ahead and take a look at it right here, like I was calling this out in our private community. So if you guys have not joined us, I would definitely recommend all you guys checking us out. But I was calling XLM at around early July, probably before that. So this thing, ever since that call out, has already done over a 6x from this previous all-time high at around 64 cents. So XLM has definitely been a pretty good performer, I think, in my opinion, compared to XRP. But with that being said, let's go ahead and read a few more questions, and then I'll pivot over to Tristan. Buy the rumor, buy the news. And I think it's the opposite.
just always buy.
A positive event. I don't know, man. Maybe this time is different. Maybe this time the market does go up, and I hope I'm wrong. And I hope, Tristan's also running that end where, it's not to buy the rumor, sell the news, because I think we're all patiently waiting for this market to just take off, especially when you look at your portfolio and you're just up like a 3x almost every other day. Is the best feeling ever. Jugas says straight to zero. Is this XRP or is this Ethereum? Well, that's pretty much all I have to go ahead and say on my end with XLM, XRP. XRP is going to the moon. I would wait for a retracement if you guys are considering getting into something like that. Always remember, do not get FOMO, fear of missing out. That's what it stands for. Do not try to chase any of these tokens. I'm really big when it comes to chasing trades. I don't like doing that. I don't ever like to go ahead. If I see something going up a lot, I don't touch it. I just call it a loss. I missed out on the opportunity. I wait either for my entry or I go ahead and look for something else. So if you're getting FOMO about XRP, XLM, or any of these other tokens, I would highly, highly recommend to reconsider it, take a step back, and just wait for it to retrace. A lot of these assets will retrace, and some of them might not, but eventually you will get a retracement where you could get an entry for a lot of these coins. So one thing I will go ahead and say, please do not go ahead and go after the hype. Do not go ahead and run chasing a lot of these tokens, because that's how most people lose money. They go ahead and start chasing them once they're up, and most people are taking profits once they're up. So you don't want to be doing that. But with that being said, I'll go ahead and flip it over to Tristan, and then you go for it, man.
So one thing I want to mention about FOMO before I get into my picks here is that my strategy for dealing with FOMO is I'll throw an insignificant amount of money into a project. So if it's a project that I research and I believe in and I do my due diligence, but I can see that it's been hyped up a lot, like no way would I buy XRP right now. But if I want to keep my mind on it and I want to see it in the future, I'll throw $100 at it or something. And I'll just have it in the back of my wallet, in the back of my portfolio. So it's there. And then I set price targets for when it does start coming down. So I can see it once it is in a more attractive price again. So that's my way of dealing with FOMO personally. I guess that little $100 buy-in quenches my FOMO. So that's my strategy. But yeah, it's similar to what Jon said. Don't go chasing this. Don't move your whole portfolio into something that's already run up a crazy amount, like XRP, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. For my picks today, I did share these a few days ago in our private group, but they are still relevant today and still very good picks. So I just want to start off with my first one here, and that would be Solana.
Nice.
So we all know Solana. At least I think we do. It's done very well last few days, but the reason I picked Solana is that I think it will flip Ethereum at some point in time. Like Jon said, it won't be tomorrow. Probably won't even be this cycle. But I think maybe sometime in the next 3 to 5 years, we can see Solana flip Ethereum. That might be a little bit controversial, but that is just my opinion. You can put your opinions in the comments. While you compare Solana to Ethereum, you can see the market cap for Solana here on CoinMarketCap. It's 103 billion, which is a lot. That's larger than a lot of companies on the S&P 500. But when you look at Ethereum, the market cap for Ethereum is 401 billion. So even if Solana doubled tomorrow to $400, a 2x, it is still half the market cap of Ethereum. And I think even in the current situation we are in, that Solana is at least worth at least half of Ethereum. So I think Solana is very undervalued when you can just look at it by market cap. And it's why I would hold more Solana than Ethereum is just also the law of large numbers. So, for example, when you have for a $401 billion market cap, for Ethereum to double, that would be 800 billion, and that's almost you're a few billion shy of a trillion. Most companies, like the biggest companies in the world, they are only at a few trillion. Like Saudi Aramco is, let me pull that up. I actually don't know that one off the top of my head. Yeah, 6 trillion. So like the largest companies are in the trillions. Apple has a market cap of 3.4 trillion. Microsoft has a market cap of 3.1 trillion. So I'm just, not that I'm sound like a real big ETH hater. I have ETH myself. It's just I think when you have a market cap so high, you have to deliver. And I'm not sure if a doubling in Ethereum is very likely. I think, however, that we can see a doubling in Solana. much more likely, and maybe in the next 1 to 2 years. And then that's probably a really secure, you could say that's a pretty safe and riskless, not risk-free, but riskless position that you can take, because Solana, I don't think, is going to go anywhere. Hopefully it doesn't. I don't see any reasons why it would. So I think it's a very safe 2x that you could see in potentially the next 2 to 3 years. Also, one more thing about Solana before I move to my second pick here is that a notable member of Trump's cabinet, David Sachs, was a very early investor in Solana. So David Sachs is now the crypto and AI czar for Donald Trump. When David Sachs invested in Solana, he invested in a venture capitalist fund called Multicoin Capital, which is kind of like A16Z, one of these big ventures VCs that do a lot of investing in crypto. So Sachs, Multicoin, Solana. So you won't see David Sachs doing anything that will harm Solana in this coming administration, and you'll most likely see very positive crypto news, very positive crypto regulation coming from this administration. So I am quite bullish for the next 4 years on Solana.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are too. I mean, Jugas and Mila also mentioned how people are speculating on the Solana ETF. I think that's definitely one of the biggest ones when it comes to Solana. But yeah, Solana's come a long way. I mean, Solana has like a cult. That's what Solana is. Literally, like last cycle, like no one would have ever thought of Solana like being close to being to Ethereum. And the biggest growth was NFTs on Solana, and then the meme coins is what really popped off with Solana. But Solana has definitely come a long way. And I think Solana right now it's probably one of the number one blockchains, I believe, with the most meme coins that are like in the top like almost billions, I believe. So a lot of the liquidity is coming from the Solana meme coins. So thanks for the meme coins. Solana is doing very well, and a lot of DeFi stuff too. They have some really good DeFi things.
Yeah, no, Radium, for example, is great. Jupiter, that DEX is pretty good. And I think we haven't really seen any real world assets being built on Solana yet, but we do have a lot of
Helium,
yeah,
right?
That's we have the D pin on there, so that's Helium. I think it's just due to how fast Solana is, you can do a lot of interesting things on it, interesting projects. And then yeah, the ETF, it'll be very exciting to see where that goes. All right. Before I get into my second pick, do we have any other comments on Solana? Jugas, yeah, people speculating about the ETF. Yeah. Well, I have my fingers crossed. I think it will go through. Since the approval is the SEC approval is after Trump is inaugurated, I definitely think we will.
You think it will happen like right after, or what?
It might get pushed back. I'm not sure if it can get pushed back, but it might get pushed back just because of how close it is to the inauguration date. But they might just, or in the other cases, they just push it through.
I wouldn't be surprised if they push it like towards around summer, like they did with Ethereum. It was so interesting is that everybody was hoping for the Ethereum ETF, and then once it came, it's like no one cared.
It just fell flat.
I think if anything, as soon as the Ethereum ETF came through, Ethereum actually fell down even lower.
Well, yeah, it was a little bit disappointing because the Bitcoin started skyrocketing as soon as the ETFs came out, but no, Ethereum didn't get the same kind of love. Maybe it's more niche.
Yeah, who knows? It's pretty interesting how quick the market has changed, though, because at one point it was just like you had Bitcoin maxis, you had Ethereum maxis most of the time, and then that's about it. And then slightly, that's when, you know, other tokens started getting introduced, the meme coins. And then we had Binance Smart Chain, which I feel like Binance Smart Chain is not talked about as much ever since CZ got ended up getting locked up. I think he's free now, right?
He is free. The goose is loose.
It's pretty interesting how they got him, though. It's a really interesting way, but that kind of sucks.
Yeah, there's a little bit of speculation there about, that being politically charged, but yeah, it's easy, free. We'll see. I think Binance Smart Chain is, yeah, it's fairly underrated.
Are a lot of things being built on Binance Smart Chain that you're aware of? Like, I don't hear too much about them. It's either I'm not doing enough research on Binance Smart Chain, or I just really don't feel like I hear anything about them as much as I did last cycle. Like last cycle, Binance Smart Chain was like the Solana of this
Mm.
cycle, if you remember that. Like it just started
It
ripping.
was bigger. Yeah, Binance. Well, anything Binance is still on Binance Smart Chain, but Binance is just kind of been playing catch up. They just started doing memes. It's not. It hasn't been.
Well, they were doing
They haven't.
memes since last cycle because
Yeah, they haven't
I was in
been.
memes, but
Yeah.
I don't think they have big ones. Like I think the only
Mm.
one that I know of is Floki. I think that's the only big one.
Loki. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just haven't been too innovative since CZ's been, locked up. I guess he was the Steve Jobs of the company.
Yeah, let's see if he comes out with a new token or if he's even allowed to. That'd be pretty cool if he does build
Hmm.
something else that's in crypto like that.
Yeah, I hope so. If you're watching if you see this CZ, yeah, build some more awesome stuff for us. Um, Let me get into my next pick then. I also presented this one to our private community just a few days ago, and the narrative still stands. This pick, however, is not crypto. Well, it is crypto, but it's not a token. Today, I wanted to talk about not Microsoft, sorry, Coinbase. Coinbase stock.
We
I
still see
think.
Solana chart.
Oh well, that's not what you want to see. Let me change that.
Floki is sleeping, Mila. I agree. Definitely is. It's crazy because a lot of people don't know the narrative behind Floki, but Floki's Elon's dog. And that narrative was taken off last cycle with Shiba. So if we have the dog run again, that's where Floki is going to be coming in. Good thing is Floki is listed on Coinbase, so it's easier for a
Hmm.
lot of you to buy.
Yeah, Floki. Floki hasn't kind of been doing the run this time. Can you see
Yeah,
my
we can see your
run?
Coinbase.
Coinbase? Excellent.
Yep.
So Coinbase stock is my next pick. So it's not a token; it's a stock. So if you need a brokerage account and all that set up to actually get involved in it, but it's a good opportunity right now for a long-term hold. Coinbase is the largest and most centralized exchange there is. It's part of Decentralized Masters course, so we help people go through setting up their Coinbase in our private community. So most other people have used it at some point. Coinbase keeps putting out innovative products. For example, it's the first public company to make its own layer 2 on Ethereum, which is the base chain that a lot of you love and know well. There have also been many mentions and rumors that Coinbase will tokenize its stock. So you could see Coin, the stock, but on a blockchain. This would be the very first stock to trade publicly on a blockchain. And there are options that could be limitless from what this does. Like, could you imagine like a Coinbase stock liquidity pool, a Coinbase stock staking? You could get your dividends on a daily basis from Coinbase stock instead of the monthly that you would normally get just having in a stock. So and very exciting. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, even said that most stock markets are bound to go into blockchain eventually. It's inevitable. So I think if any company is going to go on the blockchain first, it would be something like Coinbase. Since Coinbase is also a homegrown American company, you can expect the America First agenda of the new administration to be very beneficial towards it. There have also, as well as the administration's positive stance on the crypto industry as a whole, should be a double tailwind for Coinbase stock. So even if it doesn't do the tokenization, I still think Coinbase is still a really good long-term hold, at least for the next 4 years. Another reason many of the Bitcoin and Ethereum and ETFs that are going out, and potentially the Solana one, potentially the XRP one, potentially the Litecoin one, all these ETFs that are on the market are using Coinbase as their custodian. So the institutions are paying Coinbase to basically hold the tokens in these ETFs. So Coinbase has also a lot of income being generated, not only from retail, but also institutions, which is really good in down market cycles, because when retail pulls out, the institutions will still be paying. I had some more here, but oh no. So I think Coinbase would be, it's a very comfortable hold over the next 4 years. And I'm a big fan of Brian Armstrong, the CEO. It's something about bald CEOs. They seem to know how to run a company. Jeff Bezos. So yeah, I think that is kind of
probably all
why.
the stress.
Yeah, if they're under stress, they're doing something right, though. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm glad you mentioned Coinbase because I wanted to go ahead and share this. And the reason why I'm a big believer in the Base chain, Base, as Tristan just mentioned, is Coinbase's layer 2. As a lot of you might know or might not know, there's a lot of liquidity being provided right now on a lot of platforms when it comes to DeFi. They came out with CBBTC, which stands for Coinbase Bitcoin. So now you're able to go ahead and have exposure to Bitcoin and provide liquidity that way, which wasn't a thing a few months ago. So Coinbase, what I'm sharing right here with this article, and I'm not going to read through it, but Coinbase right here talks about how they're going to be announcing smart wallets for easier transactions. So what Coinbase's whole goal is to go ahead and onboard people when it comes to DeFi, making things a lot easier. So as a lot of you might know, getting started with DeFi is very, very difficult, very, very hard. And if you have ever tried doing that and you've ran into any difficulty, definitely would highly recommend all of you to go ahead and check out our free community down below, become your own bank. But with that being said, there's definitely some sort of hurdles you have to walk through when it comes to DeFi, setting up your wallet, little things like that. So Coinbase in the long term, their whole goal is to go ahead and make the onboarding process a lot easier. Maybe like instead of having to write down all these all your keys and things like that, your recovery phrase. Maybe it's your eyes that would unlock the password. I think it would make things a lot more efficient for a lot of people. Now, how do I feel about that? I'm not too sure. That means if they're going to be introducing smart wallets, that information has to be stored somewhere. So I don't know how I feel about that, but I think coming from like a perspective from the outside and seeing how retail would struggle getting onboarded into DeFi, I definitely do see how this would benefit a lot of people, and it'll make things a lot more easier. Like, why go ahead and go through all those hurdles where you can go ahead and simplify it for more users to get an understanding of how to quickly onboard into it, right? So I think it's a really cool thing. The way I look at this is that definitely tells me that they're looking to go ahead and capture a wider market. And I think they're really trying to push their chain to be in the top. So if we actually go ahead and quickly take a look at DeFi Llama, Base is actually like the top 10 chains right now being used. Ethereum and Solana being the first ones. You see Ethereum, Solana, but Base right here, as you see, is the sixth chain that is being used the most, and then Arbitrum. Hyperliquid's right behind that. But as you see right here, Base is currently, I think it has over, how much TVL does it have? 3.7 total value locked. I think during this run of the market, like once we have this little, I like to call it like the DeFi season, where like a lot of like the lower cap tokens and DeFi opportunities start coming your way. I believe this number should double or triple. Like I do believe we'll probably see Base at over easily a 9 billion plus total value lock. So I think a lot of opportunities will be presented for Base. So if you're not exposed to Base, one of the best ways to be exposed to the Base blockchain is through purchasing 2 tokens. So one of the tokens would be Aero, AERO, is the first decentralized exchange on the Base network. So this token's also listed on Coinbase. So really easy. You don't have to go ahead and bridge or do anything too complicated. You can literally just log into your Coinbase, type in AERO, Aerodrome Finance, and you're able to get that exposure to Base chain. Since I'm not sure if a lot of you went ahead and noticed, but Coinbase doesn't have their own token. Right now, it's really their stock. So really, the only way to have this exposure is either through Coinbase stock if you really believe in Coinbase, the company, or through their blockchain. And I think Aerodrome is something to definitely check out. And then the second one would be Degen, which is a layer 3 to base. So I don't want to make it too complicated for those that might not know what I'm talking about. But basically, Degen is also running on the Base network. So this token's also on Coinbase as well. So very easy to go ahead and purchase those tokens without making it too difficult. But Aerodrome and Degen are the two tokens on Base that I really see a lot of value in, especially because they're both listed on Coinbase. And I do definitely see Coinbase trying to dominate the sector. I think they're trying to be like the number one, like Binance, because Binance was like the number one. And that would make sense why all that things with CC and Binance in the US happened, but it's a whole different story. But yeah, Coinbase is definitely going to be here to dominate, and they're going to want to be the first, one of the first biggest US exchanges if they're not already. But yeah, a lot of value there.
They're very well positioned.
100%. Well, anything else you have to share, Tristan? That's pretty much everything on my end.
I had some more picks that I put into our premium group, but I think that is all I have time for today in the podcast.
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead close off.
All right. Thank you for tuning in this week, everyone. I hope you're walking away with some clear strategies and insights to push your DeFi journey forward. Remember, DeFi is evolving fast, and staying ahead means taking action with the right knowledge. If you're ready to dive even deeper and want a roadmap into your own DeFi success, check out the DeFi Masterclass. The link is in the description below. In the training, you'll have clear hands-on strategies to maximize your returns, manage your risk, and truly make the most of what DeFi has to offer from our CEO, Tan. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for our future videos. Until the next video, keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you next time right here on Decentralized Masters. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Take care, guys. See you guys around.